Bunch of goddamn professionals.
Oh, we're so professional.
Yeah.
I'm a super professional right now.
I'll turn off my Wi-Fi.
All right, take it away.
No reason.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
We're starting.
Are you ready? All right.
Let's go. Who's bringing us in?
I can bring us in. Or you can. Go ahead. You're back.
It's true,
I'm
you
back.
are.
Welcome to another episode of Fermented Fiction. I'm back. I'm
Yay.
Travis Vermolem, one of your hosts. We got Clay Vermolem here, co-host.
Hello.
Jeremy and Colin are off screen, but they'll be on screen. They took the hands from Destiny.
It should be over here. It's weird now.
I was gone for 2 weeks, so but now I'm back. Didn't get to talk about the Black Phone or Snow Crash. But
Nuts.
Beans.
that's okay.
Did you find the real killer?
Yes.
Oh,
Who was it?
Oh my god.
yeah. Who was it?
Can't disclose that information.
Oh, come on, man.
Secrets.
Who are you going to break the
Go
news
to
to?
all
You're not even going to break the
trouble.
news on your own show?
Come on.
Can't do it.
Ah.
I'll just let you know it was a celebrity.
Oh.
Yep.
Which
And
list?
they might just be off the celebrity list here soon. You might just, so if you see any celebrity kind of drop off the face of the earth recently,
You're like
No.
A-list, B-list. What would-
might not who it was, but I'm not saying it wasn't that person.
It wasn't Chim Chim, was it?
I can neither
Bro.
confirm nor deny.
Oh, I haven't heard from Chim Chim in a long time. All right. We're here to do a show.
Today we're doing what we normally do. And what are we talking about today, bro? Before we do our check-ins, I guess.
That's a good question. We did not discuss this before the show, really, in any way. So I'm just going to say
No.
Speed Racer, because
Racer.
it's on everybody's mind.
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Yep.
We all
talking about-
just very freshly watched it.
Movie 2008 starring Emil Hirsch and a lot of other big names.
Yeah,
Weird.
star-studded cast for sure. Had your boy John Goodman,
John Goodman.
America's dad, yes.
America's. Yeah, absolutely.
Susan Sarandon.
Oh yes.
Heartthrob.
Yeah, Heartthrob.
Heartthrobs all around.
Absolutely. So,
And I'm very much including John Goodman.
oh yeah, I mean that's the first one I thought of. So to sum this movie up, how do you Speed Racer is he's a young lad who very much likes racing, and he very much wants to win at racing, and the movie's about him.
That's,
Yep.
yeah.
It's hard to sum this movie up better than that, I think.
It's easier to say what's not in this movie.
Absolutely.
It's like, what
Absolutely.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Anything you're
We'll
expecting.
we should get to that in the debate portion.
we absolutely will. Yeah, we absolutely will.
Chimpanzees, flying cars,
In there.
They're in,
backstabbing brothers,
In there. Yeah, absolutely.
they're in it.
heartthrobs.
So that,
Heartthrobs for adults.
Facial,
It's all
Heartthrobs for
heartthrobs.
kids.
facial reconstruction in it.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. All right. Let's do this thing. So we're going to do force entrollment. Travis, what's force entrollment?
So you take one of these D20s dice and you put it, if you're me, into a dice box and it does its roly thing. And that determines who gets to fight for and who gets to fight against.
He checked if he rolled a 20.
wait.
Then I saw.
What about life updates?
I did. We're not rolling yet.
Y'all
I was
not
displaying-
updating lives?
Oh, okay.
Be cool. Put that die away.
So the person who rolls the higher number gets to argue for the movie. The person who rolls the lower number gets to. What are you saying? Why are you saying cut it?
Oh, not you. Sorry. Not you. Jeremy's talking about life updates. And,
Oh, are we cutting life updates?
man, if we forget them before we start doing the
Look,
whole
we're
thing.
all ready for Speed Racer. We're in 50, baby.
We will life update next episode. All right.
We can do a Tails. A Tails life update.
All right.
Jeremy yelled Tails at the end, and we know we have to do a life update.
Yeah,
Get your
it'll be great.
get your dice ready.
It's ready.
Yeah.
Oh wait, okay. He has to press a button. We have a dice cam now,
Oh yeah.
We do.
Oh, we're ready.
so freaking get stoked.
Yeah.
High tech.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Travis is just gonna lie about whatever he rolls.
I'm not.
No, come on now. I have faith in you. Not
It's out of the shot. Oh no, it's good.
Yeah, there's a delay.
You ready?
There is a delay.
I rolled.
Yeah, you
Did you
rolled.
roll?
Yeah, he
Yep.
did it.
It's on film.
We have proof.
I got mine. What'd you get? I
Yeah.
don't see.
I got a 19.
I got a 15. Good rolls.
Sick.
Yeah, real good. It was the opposite for like Snow Crash. We rolled like a 4 and a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like we would have hit that boss for sure.
absolutely.
Did I done some damage?
We'd have done some damage. All right. I guess the person defending, Clay,
Yeah, that'd be me.
you get first. Take it away.
I will when Jeremy gives me the signal.
All right. Let's.
All right, I'm gonna
All
take
right.
it away.
All right. Let's get some. Let's have a good, clean, or just a regular argument in 3, 2, 1, go.
I don't know if he touched gloves with me. Did he touch gloves with me?
I mean, eventually.
All right. Well, I went into this movie thinking it was going to be like a Sci-Fi Channel, super gator tornado kind of movie, and
Yeah.
like that's just like what I had always assumed it was. I've seen like the commercials and stuff and the graphics, so I know like visually it's going to be like a nightmare in terms of like CGI, or whatever that was, you know. So I was like, I don't know if this is really my deal. It also looks very action heavy and all those things that I don't usually like, and it absolutely blew me out of the water. I was not expecting to fall in love with this movie immediately, but I definitely did. This movie was flashy and balls to the wall, and just it was pedal to the metal the entire time. Not just like from an action sequence. Obviously, it was extremely fast paced in terms of action, but it also in the story. Like they put so much story into every single like line and interaction in that movie, and I was not expecting that. I thought it was going to be like a pretty childish, pretty dumb, like basically like the way I feel about Marvel movies, but less quality than that is what I thought. And I actually found this to be a highly intelligent, really well directed and well produced movie that was a lot of fun.
So I'm hearing you say that Speed Racer is better than the Marvel movies, like all of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Without a doubt.
I'm going to start out by saying, well, no, but anyway.
Yeah, that I honestly do believe that.
We need to stop holding the Wachowskis to on this pedestal that they're on. They made one good movie, one really solid movie, and that was The Matrix. And The Matrix Reloaded is okay. I think that's the second one. Yeah, Revolutions is the third one, and that's a pile of trash.
Nah.
And everything since The Matrix 3 has been a pile of dog crap from the Wachowskis. Jupiter Ascending, pile of dog crap. Cloud Atlas, pile of dog crap. Speed Racer, pile of dog crap.
Wow.
It is hyper stylized, overly long, terribly paced, and the Wachowskis don't know how to write a script. And I would argue even that they didn't write a very good script in The Matrix. They took a very basic philosophical concept, put it in an action film, and it was revolutionary for the time. I love The Matrix. It doesn't have the best dialogue. And Speed Racer did not do that. It didn't revolutionize anything. It used really weird animation effects that were like trying to completely imitate the cartoon, and did in a way, but it didn't translate to live action very well. Wasted just a star-studded cast. I mean,
Yeah.
John Goodman, Susan Sarandon, Emile Hirsch. Can't remember the lady's name that plays Trixie, but she's awesome too.
all the people
going to blank
he's.
on the actress's real name. All I can think of is she is in the Addams Family, and she's awesome. Wednesday Addams, the lady that plays her. Anyway, star-studded cast, wasted them all with a crap script. There's a reason this movie got critically just, and that's because it's just too much. It tried to be flashy and decadent, and it failed on most all parts. The only thing that it did succeed on is being like a cartoon. But I don't want to watch a cartoon episode 2 hours and 15 minutes, for Christ's sake. It was so long. It just kept dropping plot after plot.
No. There was one plot in that entire movie. And that plot is racing. And then that subplot under racing is family over evil empires. Boom. Take it all the way to the finish line. And that's what Speed Racer does from start to finish. You got like wholesome, valuable messages that are interwoven with some pretty good dialogue and some top quality acting. Like, when you say they wasted that cast, that is so unfair to them. Like, I will admit, the world is absolutely bonkers, but you know, they were imitating the anime, and I thought that was really true to the subject material. Like, people always complain when something's not true to the book, and then when they do, like, so one of the truest to the original source material ever done in a different medium, then you have a problem with it? Come on, bro. You can't really think that way, right?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it didn't work.
So it sounds like to me.
It didn't work in that meeting. Like, I respect they tried. Like, I respect they stuck to the source material. It doesn't work in live action. Didn't translate.
I disagree. I thought it translated great. I was highly entertained. And you know, I've seen that kind of like those weird transposing shots and stuff done in a lot of other films that are just trying too hard, but this one had an actual reason for doing it, and I think it's one of the only films I've seen that did to that extent. Like, that's literally the source material, and they're literally trying to bring it into another medium, but like the same sort of art form. They're just doing it with live people. I thought it was really well done, and I think it's really hard to do.
I think where I've lost it is immediately was a story is only as good as its hook a lot of the times. You know, if you don't make it past the first 20 pages of a book, you can't really continue on the book. You need a good hook. And the hook of this movie was literally just like 20 minutes of exposition dumping through flashback after flashback after flashback while a race is going on. And then it's like, it literally was like reading an exposition dump in a book, and that pulls me right out of a book story, and it pulled me right out of this. And then for the rest of the movie, I'm just kind of bombarded with more of these like exposition dumps. Here's what I was thinking about the whole time, and I do think it's overly long.
I do agree with part of what you're saying there.
Godzilla versus King Kong is what came up as a comparison. Because Godzilla vs. King Kong is a movie that knew its source material, did a dumb thing, and did it well, and did it quickly. It got to the point of its story and was like, we know what you want. You want giant monkey versus giant lizard, and then giant mecha lizard at the end. Boom. There it is. Fantastic. Speed Racer was like, we know what you want. You want the Speed Racer cartoon in live action. But we're also going to make that an hour too long and add in a bunch of subplots that you won't give a shit. And that's how I felt.
I think Speed Racer knew what people might want, and they were like, we're just going to do it our way no matter what you want. And I think there is a very specific group of kids and people growing up that movie was marketed towards, who got a little bit smarter watching a movie like that instead of just another like blockbuster movie. That movie had something different, and it didn't condescend like to its audience. It was marketed to a kid audience, but it didn't condescend to them. It treated them like adults, and I thought it was really cool for doing that. It reminded me of another thing we might talk about, so I'm not gonna bring it up right now. But when we talk about that thing, I'm gonna be like, "This is what I was talking about, Speed Racer."
Blockbusters. The reason Speed Racer fails, though, is it was a blockbuster. It was marketed as a blockbuster, and maybe it didn't condescend, and maybe it had all these motives, which I'm a little iffy on, but it failed in the box office, and it failed in its ratings because it only appealed to one type of audience, and that was diehard Speed Racer fans.
I don't
A
think
lot of
that's
the kids I'm sure were like, what the hell am I watching? Because it was hyper stylized to the point of like, if I'd watched it as a kid, I wouldn't have really understood what the hell was going on, and I would have got bored. Adults who didn't know Speed Racer didn't like it. Yeah, I just don't think it appealed to as wide of an audience, which is why it got critically torn apart and why it was a bomb. I mean, it took the Wachowskis a while to recover from this.
I don't care. I don't always trust the critics. A lot of the times they're right, sure. They know a lot more about movies and cinema than I do. But, like, my opinion is my opinion, and I've liked a lot of other movies that tanked. I mean, my favorite movie of all time is pretty much Cabin in the Woods. And that was exactly like this. It was a movie that was badly marketed, and for that it suffered at the box office.
It didn't critically tank. It failed in the box office, but it was critically very well received because Cabin in the Woods is actually well made.
I think this one is too. I think there's plenty of things that weren't great about it. I do think it's too long, and I think that hurts it a lot. They definitely could have trimmed the fat.
Beer of the week!
Beer of the week!
Beer of the week! Rule it! It's beer of the week!
Nice talk. Good talk, bro.
So good. Oh, that's some good talking.
Hey, look, they're here.
I am.
Hi, guys.
Hi, everyone.
All right.
Oh, my goodness.
For our Speed Racer Beer of the Week, we have Peak Buster.
Ooh, baby.
I got it for
IPA, brought to you by Ghostfish.
Brought to you by Ghostfish down in Seattle. Thank you, Ghostfish, for just being on this show without knowing about it.
Ooh,
Nice.
what a hat.
Oh, Special Brews. Actually, that's who we should be thanking. Thank you, Special Brews, for giving us this beer and the beer for next episode.
And that nice hat.
And the nice hat,
And
chaps.
the nice hat.
And the shirt that
They
I'm
got for
wearing.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Dang.
Boom. Thank you for giving
Beautiful.
us beers every week. We really appreciate you. If you're ever in the South Everett, North Linwood kind of convergence area, Special Brews is right there on Highway 99. You should definitely go check them out. Say hi to Dan and Jamie. They'll hook you up.
Beautiful.
They'll pour you one of them shots that I still don't know what it is called. It's a foamy shot. It's delicious. Tell them Clay sent you. Yeah.
Then they'll be like, oh, that's why you don't know what this is called.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly. He'll be like, oh, I wish somebody more knowledgeable would have sent you, but here we go.
Yeah, you get what you get sometimes.
We got Peak Buster. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Colin's got a cool mug as well.
I sure do.
He did not get one for Jeremy.
Actually, no,
Like
it has
that
a nice
to be on the record.
bottom to it.
yeah. Yeah.
I also
I'm
didn't
going-
get one for Jeremy.
Ooh,
I'm going to be drinking
Heyo.
a Great Falls Maple
old JJ.
Scotch ale.
Scotch
Look at
ale
you.
from Jeremiah Johnson. It's here in town.
Oh, man. We're leveling up all over the place.
Yeah, that's wild.
Oh, I'll be back to the crappy beers once I drink these out of my fridge.
Nice.
Eh.
Solid. Did you finish your beer advent calendar?
No, I still have a couple.
Beautiful.
Peak Buster.
All right.
Double IPA. Cheers.
Cheers, lads.
Tastes like Speed Racer.
It does.
It is shockingly delightful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Speed Racer.
Like an assault on your taste buds. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not at all what you expect to taste when someone tells you double IPA.
Well,
Just like-
not really, because I mean,
I don't know.
there's another brewery out east that does this. Well, I mean, even just who in California does the Stone? They do their crazy IPAs. Those are so bitter. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a bitter IPA, but it's not. It's there's citrusy notes to it, and
How's yours, Travis?
it's good.
Yeah,
I mean, I like Mountain. Mountain Man's reliable.
Mm.
Mountain Man's a reliable Scotch ale. Jeremiah Johnson's a pretty good brewing company
Yeah, kind of love them.
out of Montana. They claim to source their grain from like 4 miles out of Great Falls and source their water from the Missouri River. So
Okay.
they're super local.
Nice. That's good clean water right there.
It only has a few. It only has a few nitrogen and fertilizers in it.
Absolutely. Depends on what part.
That's where the flavor comes from.
As my grandpa in New Zealand would say, put hair on your chest.
He would say that. That's exactly what he would say. All right.
Stuff you didn't know.
Other stuff. Yeah. Colin,
yeah.
time for your interesting thing.
Get it?
Interesting things.
Time for interesting things with Colin Poynton.
Let's make sure there's graphics coming in there. We can have a Speed Racer theme, and it'll just be like.
That's Speed Racer
different.
Poynton's on fire! I cannot believe this!
Somebody's head come across the camera to.
Jeremy, you need to do some fast
White
cuts.
Yeah,
I'll have to do some fast cuts.
Boom.
We'll get multiple shots, people coming into the frame this way, people going in that way. We're looking the same direction. Let's be clear.
I think
So we'll establish that a couple of times.
I do want a real quick timeout and just petition that Jeremy, you need to do the Speed Racer thing to this episode. We'll release it later on YouTube. But I think you should.
I'll do
Can we
my
take the
best.
vote? Who votes that Jeremy should do
I mean,
that?
you can clip it. It doesn't have to be the whole episode.
I mean,
So it'll be okay when you edit it?
yes,
Okay.
it will be.
We'll fix it in post.
We will, but...
I mean, fixing
Sorry,
it in
Trav.
post is just skipping this bit.
Yeah, that's what it'll be. It'll be cutting this bit out.
Yeah,
Jeremy's favorite phrase is the editor, right?
Yeah.
Fix it in post.
I love it. I love every part of that.
He asked me to do it a lot more often, so I'm trying to stay true to my word.
Yeah.
All right. What is it better now?
I hear him now. I hear him now very well.
Clay talk.
Hello, I'm talking. Travis, do you hear me?
Podcast.
For God's sakes, he's talking.
We're live, everybody.
And we're live.
And we're live still. We've been live the entire time. Let's
Not one of us has died
on rolling.
yet. It's incredible.
All right.
Okay.
Colin, what's your special thing? Go.
What a segment.
Special thing you might not know about this movie.
Then,
So,
Try me.
the rights to this film were acquired in like 1992. So that's how long it took to actually end up being a film. Think of the films that came out in 1992 and then realize that this came out in like 2008.
Yeah. That explains
So
the graphics.
everyone changed, right? I mean, like people died and lived, wars were fought, and then finally the Wachowskis came through, and of all movies to decide to make, they decided to go for this.
This is fantastic.
The film grossed 93 million, but it cost 120 million. So
The world was not ready.
Brutal.
capitalism says not a great move.
It does.
But Jeremy's heart says it's a thing of beauty.
There's nothing I don't love about this movie.
There you go.
It does have like an absurdly popular vocal fan base, and in fact they have like so they made a bunch of I'm not sure what the sales were of the toys for this. I imagine it's pretty good, but like they have a picture on Wikipedia of a car that was mocked up in way before the film came out and stuff like that. So there's just all this stuff in the background continually for it. And the Wachowskis had a bunch of people from The Matrix to work on it as well. They filmed it in Germany, Potsdam, which is a big racing town. And basically, you know, the reviews are hilarious because
Yeah.
they're all talking about how wild of a film it was, for good or for bad.
Yeah.
Usually bad.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for the interesting thing, Colin.
Yeah, and if you weren't already aware, it's based on a 1960s anime that was based on the manga. So you probably, there's a lot of things you wouldn't get in the film if you had no
Yeah.
background of
Yeah.
those existing. It would definitely be confusing. Like the idea of a kid and a chimpanzee who are like best buds and stuff.
Why?
Like they just
Yeah.
Which reminds me,
Most of that
speaking of
movie
that,
would be like, why?
Oddly related to our Nope episode.
I was thinking
There was a
about that the
chimpanzee,
entire time.
right.
So they used two chimpanzees
So
to
much
film
chimpanzee
it, and like there was a big PETA mess because apparently someone hit the chimpanzee. More of the story came out, and like someone potentially beat the chimpanzee because it bit a child on set of this film. So yeah, there's made some big sacrifices for this, for your viewing pleasure, Travis.
Oh boy. Let's plow right on past through the chimp violence.
Just keep on going.
I do appreciate that second fun fact, Colin. Thank you.
Definitely a kids movie.
Round of applause.
Absolutely.
Definitely a kids movie.
That's wonderful.
But dude, I could not stop thinking about Nope when I watched that movie. I was
mean,
like,
yeah.
this chimpanzee had to kill so many people at the end of this movie. I couldn't help it.
I mean, the kid and the chimpanzee alone probably killed like 10 to 20 people in that one hallway alone.
At least. Speaking of that, Jeremy, I'm sure this is Jeremy's favorite movie of all time.
It's in his personal
Yeah.
alien language.
Yeah, I took notes. Everybody knows this. Longtime viewers of the show.
He's not just
That I
doing
assume there
this for his journal either, because like he has this on his he has it written in his house.
Oh yeah.
He's using this language.
I would like to state that I had a listener text me, a personal friend of mine, James, texted me and said, "Jeremy is the best thing to happen to your podcast."
Good.
He
Hey,
likes the "I have thoughts."
hey, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, he's right.
We're keeping it.
Absolutely.
Just for him.
I assume.
Of course. If James likes it, it's in.
Yeah. Who are we to argue with James?
No, we're nobody.
I couldn't.
No one argues with me.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Well, since James is waiting, you know, give him what he came here for.
Very well. So I do
You're
have
welcome,
a number
James.
of thoughts. The first of which is it does go to like explain this movie's just abject failure at the box office. Well, there are a few notes that do that, but we'll get to the rest of them. The first one is that there is no way to expect or describe what the movie Speed Racer is without having seen it.
I recall you telling this to me when we talked about would we cover Speed Racer.
Oh yeah.
You had the most vague descriptions of it and why we should cover it.
Look, it's you
I don't know why.
Yeah. Look, if you've seen it, you get it. You know, and
I'm pretty sure you said something like it's such a thing.
it
Like
defies
such a thing.
explanation. It challenges you to explain it, and
It
then it
takes
wins.
thing and just to 11.
Like you can't. It's the Wachowskis took inspiration from exactly 3 things to make this movie. One is Speed Racer, of course. The second is Cubism, the abstract art form. They applied it to their filmmaking. And the third is James Joyce, famous American author, or not American, Irish author, who basically invented stream of consciousness in his novels. So that's, yeah, fun. Hey, I didn't even write that note down. Now let's see.
Sorry. Did you just describe James Joyce as fun?
Not in the traditional sense.
I love James Joyce, but have you read Dubliners? Because it's not fun.
It's
Not Hey, who said it was traditional? And, you know, for another thing, how was I, like, I'm doing thing, I'm keeping it light and breezy. I don't want to get into Dubliners talking about Speed Racer. That's a whole other can of worms.
That's a
Comparing Speed Racer to James Joyce.
no.
I
No,
think
no.
There's an
Like,
essay in there.
there's-
James Joyce.
there's
and-
As opposed
An
to
actual
An essay.
interview with either Lana or Lily Wachowski where they said that they took direct inspiration from Cubism and James Joyce.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. There are very few articles about this movie.
I know about that one because it's the only one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay, continue, Jeremy.
Oh, yes. And let's see. Another thing that sort of led to the box office thing, it opened like the same week as the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
That's rough.
That's hard.
That's rough.
That's hard for movies that aren't even this one.
It's going to be extra hard for
It was
this
third
one.
at the box office behind that, and
Although I have,
What We Do in
I have
Las
thoughts on your
Vegas.
thoughts.
Oh, you have thoughts on my thoughts? I love thoughts on my thoughts.
I have thoughts on your thoughts.
Ooh.
That isn't as hard as we think it is now. Because that competing with Iron Man 1 isn't competing with Marvel today.
Yeah,
Iron
it's
Man
not
1
competing with Avengers Endgame.
before Marvel built into what it is. So like that's
Yeah.
it's not as like staunch of competition as you'd think.
Yeah, competing with Phase 1 Marvel isn't the same. It's not the same. You're not sentencing a film to
Iron
death.
Man's budget was only $20 million more.
It's essentially
40 million instead of 120.
Like we're in the phase now, which I don't want to go too much into this, but we're in the phase now where like studios are purposely changing their release days on weekends to avoid competing with Marvel movies. That's how bad it's gotten.
of course.
But that wasn't Iron Man.
I'm still so on board for the whole Marvel thing, but I assume we'll cover that at a different point. So, one of my notes, and Clay will know where this is going when I start saying it, but this film has one of the greatest lines ever to be delivered in the history of cinema.
Oh no.
Oh, yes. Now you see.
Is it the Nonja?
You knew!
He knew right away.
Yes.
That line.
Oh my god.
Of course.
It's incredible. No other movie would dare. No other movie could.
That
For
was a
those who
fantastic
haven't seen
line.
it, I can explain it without... You won't even understand if you haven't seen it, so you might as well just go see it. It's $5 to buy it on Amazon Prime, and I did.
$4 if you rent.
It's 4 to rent and 5 to buy.
It's $5 to buy in HD. I can watch it in 4K whenever I want
You should just buy
for
it.
the
It's
rest
pretty,
of my life,
pretty lit.
and I will.
Listen. Since it is unless you have more notes, Jeremy, I think it's my time to reveal my actual opinion because I feel like I've still been attacking this movie.
Yeah.
That's true. You have. You have.
The only other
But before I do
thing
that,
I had...
I will say
He has one more.
Oh, he has one more note.
Yeah. I would compare the editing of this film to Ang Lee's Hulk, except it works.
That's a good note. That is a very good note.
Yeah.
Touche.
There you go. That's the notes.
Thank you, Jeremy.
It's beautiful.
Round of applause for Jeremy.
Oh.
Or we do.
Oh yeah, we do some of these,
I like those.
Okay.
and that was for you, James. Wherever you are.
Thanks for listening, James, to this really dumb show. We appreciate it.
Jeremy, would you have liked that line as much if John Goodman hadn't have said it?
Yes, almost certainly. Because look,
Yeah.
it does it. As long as they're going as hard as John Goodman is in the film, then yeah. As long as they're going as hard as everyone else in the movie, which is like, I don't know, a 4 million out of 10. If you're going that hard, then yes, I will
Yeah,
love it.
yeah,
I will love
true.
it every time.
I would have loved to see Nick Cage do it.
Oh my god.
Yes.
It is surprising he wasn't in it.
I know. He should have been on the. He totally would have said yes to a role as like one of the snake boilers.
Oh my god.
All right.
100%.
All right. It's time. Travis is waiting. He's got his real opinion.
Yeah, Travis.
He's had to hold it back for that whole tirade. So, Travis, what did you actually think?
I would like the record to show that. So I made a comparison before we started recording that this is it's like a bad cocktail, but that's really strong. So you have the first one. So like 20 minutes in, I was like, "What are they making me watch?" This is so. But by like minute 45, I'm like, "No, it's pretty good." I'm having fun, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the moment that it was sold for me wasn't the line, but it was in that same scene. It's when John Goodman, the ninja, like backs into him, and the camera just does like a fast push in on his wrist. Like,
World
Greco-Roman
champion,
wrestling.
and I was like, "Ah, man."
Yeah. As soon as it related directly to you, you were like, "You got me. You got me."
I will say, I was not lying when I stated my opinion about the Wachowskis. I think they are held in way too high of regard. I don't think they deserve the praise they get. I think they're visually very good at what they do, but their scripts are usually pretty damn weak. Jupiter Ascending is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And if you ever want to watch a trash heap of a film, go watch that.
It's no Speed Racer, that's for sure.
We are officially no longer covering Jupiter Ascending.
Not with that attitude.
No. But there's a point, I think, when even I've said this about Michael. I can't not make comparisons. I've said this about Michael Bay. Like, there's times when things just line up of like a director's style just works perfect for the story that they're telling, and they don't need like perfect script. And that was this. The Wachowskis were like the directors that were meant to direct Speed Racer because they were
For sure.
flashy.
The chosen
Flashy.
ones.
They do well with like kind of bare bone plots, but like pulling a lot out of them. Mm-hmm. And I think, and I compare them to Michael Bay because I hate Michael Bay with a fiery passion, but I love the movie that he did about the war movie he did, 13 Hours, because I think Michael Bay's like propensity for really good cinematography and explosions lined up perfectly with the script that worked for him. I think that was Speed Racer for the Wachowskis. The script and them combined together into like this gloriously campy visual wonder that was just a blast. It's a fun movie to watch. It's not good, but it is.
It's
also
just great.
Excuse you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
There you go.
I did genuinely like it a lot. I found myself laughing through the entire thing. Yeah, I really liked the humor that was in it, and the cheesiness and the campiness. Because it's like, I don't like really slapstick cheesy humor when it's not self-aware, but when it is, that's definitely my jam. And there was some really subtle, like, actually really good acting moments in there and good moments of directing that really stood out to me. It actually, a weird thing about it hooked me, because I usually pay a lot of attention to like the acting and stuff, and when the mom entered the room after he ripped his poster of what was his name?
Ben Burns.
Ben Burns. He ripped down the Ben Burns poster. It hurt, you know. We all love Burnsy. He ripped down the Burnsy poster and sat on his bed. And when the mom comes in, the first thing she does is she looks at the wall and she notices that the poster is down. But she doesn't say anything about it, but like a look of concern crosses her face, and then she goes and sits by her son. And I thought that was like a really cool, small little detail. And it just made me pay a lot more attention to the movie. And I mean, I got on board with the campiness, because as soon as I saw like that, oh, you're gonna cross faces, you're gonna like fade, you're literally just gonna fade the flashbacks through the middle of a dialogue, through the middle of a monologue. Okay, let's go. Like,
There's
let's
like
get
an
weird.
internal comedy that some films have where Because at the very beginning, like, he's taking a test, and then he's like reading the question,
like-
and then he's like, and then the people blah 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 blah, and then that's what's written on
Yep.
the paper, the question
Right.
that he's answering.
All
And
drivers
then
to your
when
cars.
he's like, "Did we talk about Rex?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, your brother." Like, this is like the teacher. And then she holds up his answer card, and it says, "Go Rex, go."
Yeah,
That's pretty
great.
good.
Yeah, your boy's
I mean, those are kind of
undiagnosed.
original sort of, comedy touches that I mean, I feel like if they did a gritty reboot of Speed Racer, it would just be
Like if you,
idiotic and terrible, and no one would remember it.
if
You're
you
never gonna
remember
forget this
any,
movie.
if you remember any of the ads for this movie, that's kind of how it was pitched.
Yeah.
because this was right off the back of the entire Matrix trilogy.
Oh yeah,
And they pushed hard on, like, from the creators of the Matrix trilogy for a PG movie
yeah.
Yeah.
when they'd only done R-rated films up until that point.
Right. Is a weird move.
I have a major problem with advertising in general. Like, one of my favorite, again, comparisons, sorry. One of my favorite movies of all time is It Comes at Night. And that movie was splendid, but it was pitched as a horror film, and it's like a psychological thriller. And people went and came out and were like, it was so stupid. I think that happened to Speed Racer. It was pitched as this like Marvel action gritty, and it's not. It's a campy, fun kids movie. I have two thoughts. One,
Two
Roger Allam, who plays what's his name? That's why I was on my phone.
Oh yeah,
He absolutely slays it.
Oh my god!
all day.
He was his character from V for Vendetta.
So
Like-
funny.
Oh, he is
The
just
V for
perfect.
Vendetta crossover was hysterical.
There was a lot of that in this movie. I mean, because when
Yeah.
John Goodman's on there, and you're like, man, I just think of The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
Roger Allam was gold.
that reminds me of one of the other most perfect lines in cinema. Pannekuchen sind Liebchen.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Pancakes are love.
Pancakes
That's one of the most quoted lines in my household.
are love.
Pancakes are love. The other thought that I had was I absolutely found it. I just found it. It was supposed to be this dramatic moment, but it played into the campiness. How Rex Racer has facial reconstruction. I was like, I wish I could go to the doctor and just look like Matthew Fox.
Oh my god.
So many issues.
The double twist was incredible to see on people's faces who hadn't seen it. Who the whole movie were going like, that's Rex. This is Rex. This is Rex. And they pull off, and then he pulls off his mask. They're like, no, I'm actually the dude from Lost. Like, oh, that's, whoa.
Honestly, I had a hard time even remembering what the original Rex had looked like by that point in the movie because I had like 3 seizures.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm actually not sure. Is that Rex?
And then he's like, I'm not your brother. Like, oh.
Good. I'm glad you said that to me like I was 5.
Which definitely did not have the seizure flashing light disclosure at the beginning.
Needed it.
Needed it.
Needed to be
and
there.
it needed another warning that was like, you'll
was
need
released
need to relax in like a
Yeah.
one of those salt baths that you
Yeah.
you
Settle
lay in
in,
for a
everyone.
while, to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Hear only your heartbeat.
Yeah.
What'd you say,
They
Jeff?
didn't have the warning. It was released in 2008. They didn't have the warnings like they do now.
Yeah,
They did.
for sure. What was your other point? You had one more point you were going to say?
Did you have more
Those
points?
are my 2 points. I want to respond to the mother's acting. I mean, it's Susan Sarandon, man.
Oh, yeah.
She's
So
she's
good.
an underrated actor.
So good.
She's so good.
So good.
And just Susan Sarandon.
Yeah. Just everybody was just going for it 115% the
Yeah.
entire movie for some of the
that's
most
another-
ridiculous things you've ever seen in your life.
I think that's what makes me buy into a cult classic more, is if I can tell the cast is just having a blast.
Yeah.
Like it makes me happy when I see a movie that's like, I bet they had a good time making this.
Absolutely.
Here's
No
another
doubt.
thing about it, though, is that it's secretly better than you think. Because, like, when we're talking about it, everybody will say, like we have, that it's a film that goes 10,000%. Every character is that character times 1,000. You know what I mean? But actually, when you really look closely, like, it's not a film like other action films are just constant action shooting in your face, and there's like, we don't care about it. Like, you know, the latest Mission Impossible, we don't really care about Tom Cruise anymore because it's just constant.
No.
Well, I don't know if you can
That's
speak for
constant
this
parade
entire
of
show
action.
about
Hey, now.
Tom Cruise.
I am always here.
Impossible.
Okay, fine. The latest Transformers movie.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Although wasn't the
Yeah, that's
last
fine.
one
That's
Bumblebee?
fine. That's fine.
Right? I mean, constant action isn't enough. So this film has actually, it's pretty good, actually. When you look really closely, it's sort of, okay, here's an action sequence, and then here's like a more emotional beat, and then here's sort of where that comes from with music layered on that references back to a previous part of the film for an emotional sequence, right? And then, so there's actually quite a few examples of layering that goes on, and, you know, good editing. It's not just constant in your face action or anything else.
Oh yeah. And I do want to talk about the score, because every single
Hold on, Travis.
Travis.
One sec before the score, because this will be complete. This was related to Colin's point. I do think it. I've said this before on this podcast. I'm a huge action movie fan, and what makes and breaks action movies is pacing. And I do stick to my guns on that, though. That, like, there are those emotional moments. There is good layering, but it's not expertly paced. Like, it feels like 2 hours and 15 minutes by the end of it. It drags in some parts, and I will stick to that gun. I loved the movie, but I did get up and do some chores at like hours. I know what this movie's about. I'm gonna like clean my kitchen for a little bit and come back, and it'll still be exactly what I think it is. Like, I don't think it was expertly paced, but it was. You know, I get your layering point is correct. It did layer.
I do have to agree with you, Travis. There's definitely some scenes that could have not been there, like the second car scene didn't really need to be there, and arguably the first car scene where they're just sitting in a car, you know. Both of those scenes could get out of there, and quite a bit of the opening exposition, you know, for sure.
Well, you know, one of the best things about this movie is that I can't really argue with any of the points that people
true.
have against it, because every single thing I love about this movie, like, I watched the CinemaSins episode about this movie with just a big dumb grin on my face, thing every time. I was like, I fucking love this movie. It's so oh my god.
Jeremy put this movie on the list right away.
With gusto.
Yeah.
It is the
No hesitation.
I would not have watched Speed Racer if you had.
not a chance. Not a
Wouldn't have
chance.
even crossed my radar.
It's true. It is true.
Thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, snaps for Jeremy for
Yes,
that.
thank you. I'm doing the Lord's work out here.
You did.
Really, I'm not a Wachowski's fan, and so I wouldn't have watched it, but now I have. And now there's 2 movies that I think the Wachowskis hit it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly 2. Everything else they've made, meh.
It's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not the biggest fan either, so that's
Well, frankly, I'm all in on the Matrix trilogy, although I haven't seen Resurrections. So maybe is it a saga at that point? I don't know.
It is a saga now.
Okay.
Okay.
4 is bad. 4 is bad,
It's bad.
in my opinion.
Oh, well. All right. I think we are probably going to cover The Matrix at some point. Or it was on the list.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
We should if we haven't.
Not for a while.
So everyone forget you
Back
heard
to
what
it.
Travis said.
They'll forget by the time we do it.
I will.
We'll do it far enough away. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy, what did you want to say about the score?
Oh,
Talk about
right.
the score.
It has a fantastic score. Like, every single part of it is just based off part of the theme song to Speed Racer.
It is, yeah, that happened.
And it's,
That's true.
oh, there it goes. All right.
The GoPro dice cam turned off.
Yeah. Frankly, it's about time.
Tragedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was just waiting for the end of the movie where it's just like, go Speed Racer, go!
Oh, yeah.
And it,
I feel like I really do appreciate that input because I don't pay attention to score a lot, but score means so much. The lack thereof or the inclusion. Like, again, I'm going to divert these conversations all the time because I just like to talk about movies. But the reason No Country for Old Men works so well is because there's no score. And we're so used to scores that, like, the lack of a score really drove a lot of the tension home. And I think so. It did have a good score, Speed Racer, because it kept up to the pace. You know, the score matched the, like,
oh yeah.
the
You couldn't just have,
partners.
you couldn't just have some B-list composer, some giant,
It's a Danny Elfman again.
yeah. Can't just
John Williams.
throw it to an intern to knock out in a weekend.
No.
No.
Well, the Tron remake movie was scored by Daft Punk. And that's the reason that I went and saw the movie.
We really should talk about Tron Legacy because that's another controversial low critic rating but cult favorite.
Let's check it out.
I love cult
Someone put it
favorites.
on the list. Travis, you put it on the list. I'm down for Tron. That'd be fun.
Tron, yeah, it's just
Tune in if you're listening or watching this.
Yeah, so if you like Tron,
Yeah.
not giving my opinion. It's just a movie. It is a movie.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you think we should watch it? Say it in the comments.
Yeah!
Leave a like.
Like it, would you?
Yeah.
Go over there and like it and tell us you'd like to hear Tron.
If you think we should,
I'm still
also
waiting to
leave a
hear
like.
back from the director of Nope about my question on Twitter. I'm puking or pooping.
Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
You asked Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
I tagged him in the post.
You just asked
All right.
straight up.
I
Okay.
tagged Jordan Peele.
I'm sure he's
Puking
getting,
or pooping.
I'm sure.
And clipped
I'm sure
our
he's
episode
getting
on
to
that.
it.
he's got to field a lot of questions about it, I'm sure.
It's both. It's both. It's both.
Both? Neither?
Both, huh? Is there a separate term for that?
Now I gotta clip this
There
again.
should be, right?
It's
When you're simultaneously from the same hole.
I don't know.
Getting everything out.
Do a lot of animals have that in and out sort of digestive system rather than a straight through one?
I absolutely have no idea, so. To you guys.
That's worth a Google.
Travis, do you know any animals that do that?
Let us know in the comments if you.
Yeah, put that in the comments too while you're at it. Comments are going to be overflowing.
God, I hope so.
Just like that alien's digestive system.
Oh yeah.
Always in and pushing it right back
I'll have to
out
watch
to the
Speed
same
Racer
direction.
again before I
What a nightmare.
understand the industrial complex of their society.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the guy has a big old jet that's purple, and I'm not sure
Yeah.
how it flies.
It doesn't
It
matter.
flies because it feels like
It flies on a zip line like everything else in Speed Racer. In that
Also,
giant
can we
green
talk
room.
about the like ambiguity of what decade they're in because they're
Yeah.
talking about like
It's great.
I think-
Yeah.
at one point someone references a Commodore 69.
A Commodore 64, yes.
Yeah, the Commodore 64 is like a real car in 1964.
Yeah.
Where are we?
Yeah, yeah. And these courses are like, what are they made of? Like adamantium, titanium,
This
alloy.
is
Plastic. All of them are just made of
1960s
plastic.
future.
future.
Okay.
1960s future.
Right.
No,
That's what it felt like.
They talked about the
They-
43 Grand Prix.
They invented the atom bomb, and right after that, they invented flying cars and flying cities and flying skyscrapers.
Yeah.
And like
It's
strange.
Yeah, you know,
That's what that was in the back of my mind the whole time. It's like, this culture and world just only cares about racing. That's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's they care about racing like we care about movies.
There's definitely something to be said for that. I mean, during like football season, if you just hang out with a bunch of people that watch football, that's basically all that's happening in your life all the way through football season.
Yeah, I've been aware when it comes to scheduling this show.
We shoot the show at this time because everybody gets
stance
to
of
work.
this show.
It's
is
a
go
Thursday night
birds.
or a Monday night or Sunday.
It is Monday. I'm literally missing a football game right now that I would actually like to watch.
That'll
So
teach you.
I don't want to hear it.
Oh no.
I don't want to hear it.
Hamburgers.
There's a cord.
It is hamburgers. There's a whole thing going on right now.
No, you can't mean that.
What else do you guys want to say about Speed Racer?
Do we have ratings? Do we have freaking ratings?
Yeah, I guess ratings for sure. I love our rating system. It's still my favorite thing.
Oh, yeah.
Our rating system, a system as chaotic as Speed Racer, or at least it aspires to be.
Oh,
Travis.
get there.
How many beers do you need to watch Speed Racer?
Well, oh yeah, that's our rating system.
Yeah,
I got my
for
rating.
maximum enjoyment. How many beers?
Maximum enjoyment?
Maximum enjoyment.
4. That's just past buzz. This is weird. This is why our rating system is chaotic.
Absolutely.
Because maximum enjoyment is achieved when you're like taking life less seriously, and that's when you're just past buzz. So, you know, 1 beer, I'm still gonna enjoy it, but maximum enjoyment, I gotta be like right into the drunk zone, and then I'm gonna be like, these cars do backflips. Why not?
Ideally,
Yeah.
you've had
Yeah.
4 beers and you have someone who hasn't seen it that you're like,
Yes.
and then this
You
scene.
want that.
That's what Jeremy had last night.
It was so
essentially.
good.
Yeah. All right, Colin.
All right, my rating is 1 blotter of acid.
Okay.
Watch this movie.
I think that's gonna just make it a different movie.
That was a horror.
That's gonna make it an altogether maybe more unpleasant film.
It could be. It could be like
Or-
a very spiritual film.
Yeah,
If you
you could
interpret-
see God.
Absolutely.
So that's nice.
Portrayed by John Goodman.
Whoa.
Whoa.
All right, so you're saying how many beers though? How many beers, Colin?
Yeah, how many beers do that to your perception of reality?
I like Travis's. What did you say? 4? I think Travis said
beers?
4.
Yeah.
4
beers.
4 beers.
To just beyond buzz zone. What's just beyond buzz? For
I mean,
you?
originally I was thinking earlier, you know, maybe you do chew 2 joints before you do 2 joints, and then you do 2 more for the movie.
That'll do it too.
It'd be pretty good.
Yeah, it was. Jeremy.
See, I could do it on a single bowl of Captain Crunch wrapped in a blanket burrito, spellbound by all the flashing lights and excitement.
Okay, so no beer. No beer for you.
No beer.
You need 0 beers to enjoy Speed Racer.
Yeah.
From Jeremy or Colin, really. Colin thinks you just need different
You just need
drugs.
to do a lot of drugs, different ones, but a lot.
You're gonna need Adderall because you want to focus on all the little details in the background.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I sure do want my Adderall
I
for medical reasons.
would give it. I do like Travis's answer. I think I would go a couple more though. I would want to be hitting for right around the time they go to the corporation tour. You know, so that I can fully appreciate and absorb that guy's energy as he is just Satan. And then I would want to be drinking maybe 2 to 3 to 4 more by the end of the movie, so that like once it becomes very predictable and I'm like, okay, Speed Racer will win, and the mountain scene has been done, I would want to be pretty hammered, I think, to fully enjoy that milk chugging at the end.
Beautiful.
That's Speed Racer, folks.
The mountain. The mountain.
Oh, the mountain.
The mountain scene was awesome. Crampon tires.
Absolutely incredible.
Let's go.
Oh, and can we... There's an experience that I had this most recent time watching Speed Racer. I saw the guy leading the Snake Oiler team, and I was like, is that the brother from Black Phone? I had to Google it, and it's not. Broke my heart a little bit.
It would have been so good.
It would have.
That would have been
But-
quite a resume.
Like the main driver, I
Yeah,
thought was the...
they look so much alike
Jeremy, how did you think that?
because they look a lot alike. Sure, he was doing a cartoon accent and was wearing a snakeskin vest.
They are 14 years apart, and the kid in Black Phone is a teenager.
No, he's talking about the brother of Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke's brother, who did all the cocaine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, the kid? That
No.
makes sense.
That would be
Why would
weird.
I
That
refer
would
to
be
the
weird.
main character of a movie as the brother? I need you to answer that one for me.
Hey, yeah, that's a good question. I guess you'd more like say the sister, right? But unless you kind of identified with her more and watched the movie for her
I
perspective.
thought she was probably the best character in the movie, in my opinion.
Agreed. I agree with that.
Yeah,
All right.
I'd say so.
That's Speed Racer, everybody. Let's cruise on through to the next episode. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Special Brews, for the beers. Thank you, Cascade Riders, for existing in general and for letting us be your podcast. All right. We'll
Yes.
see you next time.
Yes, Travis, go Speed
Goodbye.
Racer, go.